Okay, everybody, we are back with more dates with Dita. We are still in chapter 2. We're going to jump right back in where we left off. When we left here, we were talking about the importance of drinking water and starting your day off with water. And she's continuing here by saying, better still, knock it back with a squeeze of fresh lemon. Lemons are high in vitamin C, which is good for the skin and bones. They are a natural diuretic, keeping the elimination of toxins and waste going through. Lemons help the liver produce more bile, which in turn aids in the digestion of food. It assists with the relief of constipation symptoms, nausea, heartburn. Water with fresh lemons is mostly how I keep hydrated throughout the day. I also love lemon water, and I definitely start my day off with water. I probably should do this more where I add the lemon in my water first thing in the morning because I also know it's alkalining, which is really good for the body. After taking my supplements, because she takes a probiotic and a multivitamin, which I've been taking CMOS, which is basically a very, very well-rounded and good multivitamin. I fix myself a teacup of hot water and squeeze in the other half of lemon. A pinch of fresh grated ginger is a natural aid, not unlike lemon, with inherent properties that may reduce inflammation, aiding in relief of joint and muscle soreness. It also is refreshingly delicious. From there, it's a glass or two of green smoothie throughout my first half of the day. And she's actually going to give us the recipe for this green smoothie on page 44, so we have a few pages to get through it. It's called Her Life Elixir. And whenever I get to that page, I'll actually make the smoothie with you guys on here and show you all the ingredients and how to make it and give a review on how it tastes and how I felt throughout the day after having it. Because apparently she just wakes up, has a lot of water, a lot of tea, and ginger and lemon, and then goes right into like green smoothies, maybe one or two. And then she says, in late morning, I enjoy a bowl of steel cut oats with cardamom, cinnamon, or other spices in lieu of sugar, so no sugar. Or I'll cook it in a flavored infusion of tea, which sounds really, really good. Steeping the tea until it's very, very strong and boiling the oats in the liquid. That sounds incredible. Some of my favorite teas are perfumed violet rose, black leaf, green matcha. Oh my God, my cat. Hi, you want to be involved as usual? Can you not, though? I'm trying to film. Come on, move, 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 move. We're on a time crunch. Okay. Nope. And smoky lapsang souchong. I get all of my teas when I can from Mariage Fraise. I'll put it here in case I pronounce that incorrectly. My favorite tea shop in Paris. I'm so obsessed with smoky tea that I made lapsang souchong the basis for my third perfume, Rouge, which is so cool. I still have yet to find her perfumes and smell them, but I plan on trying to locate some, maybe on eBay, and if I ever get my hands on them, I will obviously show you guys and review them. There are so many creative ways to flavor oats without adding sugar. On the occasions that I do wake up with a sweet tooth, though, I might sprinkle on a touch of natural sweetener like stevia, maple syrup, or coconut nectar, which I do that as well now. Whenever I make my oatmeal, I will use like just a tiny bit of agave. I don't really like sweet things except for a little sweetness in my coffee, so it's fairly easy for me to stay away from really sweet things, and I tend to use just like a smidge of sugar, natural sugar, whenever I'm making things like that. Hi, baby. Always. Yes, mommy is reading. I usually resist eating bread during dinner unless it's homemade or from an exceptionally good bakery. In Paris, of course, one would have to lack a pulse to resist the corner bakeries there. So I might enjoy a tear of baguette or croissant. It's part of the joy of traveling. In Ireland, I do love the soda bread. And how can I resist a freshly baked pretzel in Germany? I always sniff and take a nibble to assess whether it's worth eating. I am very choosy. And I also am trying my best to stay away from bread, but I love bread so much. But I will, maybe this is a really, really good way to do it, because there are definitely breads that were worth the carbs and ones that were definitely not. when I was in Japan, there was this bakery called Truffle, and the bakeries there are, I think, on the same level as Paris, I want to say. Don't come for me, Paris, but it's true. Their bakeries are incredible, and they make the most amazing breads. And there was this one bread, like a truffle bread that they made. I could eat 10 of those a day, and honestly, it was worth every single carb. And I also don't feel like I felt bad. Like, sometimes when I eat bread here, I feel obviously like garbage, and my face breaks out, and I get hives and all of the gluten things. But there, I ate so many of those damn pieces of bread, and not really much happened. So I think just the quality of ingredients matters as well. So I kind of like what she says with, like, be picky and choosy, enjoy the life's treats like bread, but just make sure it's worth it, you know? I adore millet bread. My choice is a sliced loaf by Food for Life, one of the most ancient foods. Millet is a 15% protein and is one of the most digestible nutritional grains available. My nutritionist, Kimberly Snyder, introduced it to me. And one of my go-to snacks is a slice of millet toast with avocado and a pinch of sea salt, which sounds really good. And I'm going to have to try this millet bread because I have never had that. But anything that says like toast or bread, I'm down to try, especially when it's like a more healthy version that might not taste like cardboard. I also might add a handful of mixed sprouts or a smear of mustard. I love tarragon mustard, horseradish mustard, truffle mustard. I hated all mustards as a kid. Now I collect them, as well as any exotic salts I discover on my adventures. And that is so funny. I love figuring out things or finding out things that people collect because it tells a lot about a person. And I think it's more interesting to collect something like that, like something weird. I find that fascinating. Like, you collect mustards, or I wouldn't collect mustards. I don't mind them. It's like my least hated of the like Americanized kind of like condiments, I guess. But I find exotic salts very enticing, and I think I would also like to collect that if out of the two, because I bought recently this truffle salt and I'm obsessed with it, and I put it on everything. So I get the salt. That's for sure. Treat your bread choices as you should red meat or any other creature protein. Be selective of its origin. I love a good steak, maybe once or twice monthly, and it better be a choice cut, preferably ethically raised and sourced and seasoned and cooked beautifully. Poultry is also best served when the chickens, turkeys, or ducks are pasture raised, without soy, and definitely without lab-based enhancements. And that is so true. You have to be super picky about where you get your meat from these days, if you are going to eat meat, or just stay away from it altogether. I don't eat meat at every meal, but when I do, I try my best to get the best that I can. Isn't that right? Yeah, you too. You are grain-free and all tunas.